Hey, what's up everyone? Morey Croson here, and we have a brand new breakdown for you today. It's going to be on Abby Steiner, and we're going to start the video right now. This is the newest edition of the Performance Lab.
Reach your individual goals. You don't want to just talk about straight line speed. We also want to talk about your ability to be quick. We break down your video. Let's make you into the quarterback I know you can become.
All right, so this is going to be on Abby Steiner here in lane 6, NCAA champion and also NCAA new record holder. And what was really interesting about this and what made it so there was a little bit more of suspense, at least in my opinion, was the fact that there was the rain, right? Because what happened was a lot of these women, going into the finals, there were, I want to say it was 6 women for the 100 meter. There were 6 women that ran sub 11, and none of them ended up winning or running under 11 in the final, right? Because of the rain. And so when Abby Steiner already had a season best going into it, and everyone kind of thought she was going to be able to break the NCAA record based off of how well she did in that first 200. But then when it rained, it was like, oh man, is she still going to be able to do it? And lo and behold, she still did, ran a 21:08. But what's also really cool about this is this really gives us the opportunity to see how much more she has in the tank, right? So I'm really excited about that. So we'll go ahead and start. Excellent start by really a lot of these women here. Really have some good fundamentals here. I would say that it looks like Abby Steiner did a really good job of staying patient through that drive phase, right? Like some of these other sprinters are getting pretty high pretty early on, where you can see her, she's really staying very horizontal, really trying to build a lot of momentum going around that curve, and that's exactly what she did. She did a great job of getting around that curve and really utilizing some of those things that she does within her start to help her out. And I don't love some of the things that she's doing within her hands, within her wrists when she's sprinting. I almost feel like she can get a little bit better there, but what you got to really admire about her is she just has such a great turnover speed, right? And I think what ended up being a difference, and we'll time it based off of this, we got 0.31 here when her foot's landing on the ground, and it's back off the ground at 4.1, yep. And we got, looks like, in the video, I really appreciate how good the video is getting with everybody right now. I mean, our ability to be able to really break this down and see this at a high level is getting just so much better. I love it. And so it looks like she's, still on the ground 6.2, off the ground by 6.3. So, closer to a 0.1. And we do see this, right? We do see this with the 200 meter. Typically, people are going to be a little bit longer with their foot contact time than, they usually are. And so we'll compare the side view here to and the front view, so we have a little bit more of a side-by-side. The one on the right is more of like a slow motion here, just looking at the timing. It doesn't end up matching up very well, so we do know that this ends up being in more of a slow motion here. But we can still see some of the things that she's doing within, how she's landing with her legs and what she's doing with the wrist, right? So when you see her land and how her foot comes down, she's doing a good job of getting those toes all the way up and then being able to strike down towards the ground, which is a lot of the main things that we're trying to talk about with the sprint. And then what we don't love, or what I've seen, some of the best people do is, have a little bit more of a deviation of the wrist. So instead of there being so much of like a flexion extension, or really in this point it's like an extension in the wrist, so she's really stuck in more of an extension instead of being more neutral in the wrist and being able to get more of a pullback and get more of like a radial and ulnar deviation, which is more of like a lateral flexing, right? Being able to really drive that pinky back, and she doesn't do that super well. I mean, she still obviously has great turnover, so it's not impacting her too much, right? But you can see that there is a bit of a difference between her and what we've seen some other women do when it comes to their hands. Even here, we could see some differences, right? And so, a lot of guys like, Tyson Gay, Justin Gatlin, Usain Bolt, a lot of those guys are a lot more just kind of straight back. You can see for her, she's like really allowing a lot of extension within the wrist, and she still gets a good amount of extension in the shoulder, right? And I don't want to make it seem like this is obviously, a super negative thing. Obviously, she just broke the NCAA record. It's just different, right? It's just something that's different. Okay, but we'll go back into this. So we got 0.75 when she's landing here. Lands really well, underneath her body. Just such a great job, and I know she'd be even faster with her full contact time. And this is going to be similar to what we saw with Sha'Carri Richardson, right? Where she was not able to run as well going into the Prefontaine, right? And then when she got to the Prefontaine, ran pretty well, right? Because the rain, okay? And so it was kind of a similar situation with Abby Steiner here, in my opinion, where she can really even run better if she didn't have the rain, because her foot contact time is usually better. When we did her breakdown earlier on, she had a better foot contact time. Let's see what her left side is here, 2.7, 2.60. Yeah, so she's pretty consistent in like the 0.33 in terms of her turnover rate, right? And this was one of the things that when we did the breakdown with Elaine Thompson, they were kind of similar with their foot contact time, but one of the things that she wants to be able to work on is going to be improving that turnover rate, similar to what we were talking about with Josephine Boulay as well. But because she has, similar also to Josephine Boulay, great foot contact time. She also has really good foot contact time typically, right? Watching this, we would say foot contact time because she's closer to 0.1. She'd want to get closer to 0.08, right? And then she's closer to 0.33 here. And I mean, actually on the 200, it's a little bit longer, so I'm not as concerned with that, but we have, the closer she can get to 0.3, I think that's going to benefit her a lot because she's already 5'9". She's already pretty tall overall, and so just being able to maximize that turnover while still having great foot contact time is going to really help her excel. So as always, guys, if you like the information, go and click that thumbs up down below, subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, comments, or recommendations, you can leave those down below. And yeah, check out some of the things we got in the description. The breakdowns end up being, I think, the most important part of, being able to help you out, right? Because when you can get into the specifics, right? Once you can start to slow it down like this and see, okay, what's going on? What am I doing with my arms? What am I doing with my feet? What am I doing with my hips? What am I doing out of my start? What am I doing out of my drive phase? What am I doing out of my top end speed? Because I really want to be able to isolate it, right? Let's really see where are the flaws, right? Where are the things that you need to be able to get better at? And once you can really slow it down and isolate those things, I think it gives us a better understanding of what we can do in order to improve, what are some drills, what are some exercises, and be able to progress from there. There's not enough people talking about technique. The reason I got into this in the first place is because I searched on YouTube. I wanted to get faster. I searched on YouTube and I just didn't see anybody providing this type of information, right? This type of stuff that to me is super beneficial. And I know as time has gone on, there's been more and more people that have been using this channel to help them get faster. I get the messages and I appreciate all the support. And I hope that you continue to utilize that as well as coaching to be able to help you get to the next level. It's hard to be able to just keep yourself consistently motivated, consistently on track with your training, consistently on track with your academics, and be able to continue to build more and more on whatever your current foundation is or whatever your current top end speed is. But when you start to add in your nutritionist and your coach and your whatever tutor, all these different things, right, then it ends up just being too much, right? The more you can delegate and the sooner you can delegate, I think the better you're going to be. And it's easy for me to be able to go and help you in improving your speed. It's something I do all the time. Okay, and so instead of spending years trying to figure this all out, you can go and really my prices to me are not that much, right? It's really a great investment. You just need to be able to believe in yourself, believe in results, and really be able to commit to something that's going to be able to create a long-lasting improvement in your overall body, your mind, and also on the track or on the field, whatever it ends up being, because we do track stuff and then also, football, baseball, soccer, all that type of good stuff as well. So again, thanks for watching. If you like the information, thumbs up, subscribe, leave me a comment down below. We'll talk to you soon.